Um,
Happy 2025, everybody. We made it to 2024, and we are here on another Tuesday, the second Tuesday, one of them, in the new year. And we are with the final whistle. Hit that like, subscribe button. But as you can see, I'm with my Party Central bros. We made it from Party in the New Year's, and we're here. As you can see, I got my main man, Lushawn Graves. How are you today?
oh shit! I thought you were talking about me.
I got you. Lushawn's next, so I'm gonna roll with Lushawn.
He said my main man.
Man, I'm doing good, man. Happy 2025, Alabama Nation. 2024, it was what it was. It ended. We move on. I'm excited to get into some of the crazy things that have happened lately, and I'm excited to be back with the Avengers. Let's go, baby.
Let's go. And the one and only, the spy himself. Is he here? Is he not? Is, Mission Impossible himself. Oh, look at him. Look at him. The one and only Lane Kiffin's twin, Daniel Petty. How are you?
Man, I wish we twin bank account. Man, good, man. I was on y'all's island all week and sad to be back up here in the cold weather.
Yeah, put on a jacket. It's supposed to get pretty cold around here if you've been under a rock. And ladies and gentlemen, the busiest man that we know, we don't know what he do, where does he work, but we know he's our lead recruiting analyst. Dan James, how are you, sir?
I'm all right, just chilling. What's up, y'all? Ready to get back to it? I'm back here with my boys.
I know, right?
On a Tuesday night. Let's get it.
My main man. My one and only 3-2, Chris James. How are you, sir?
Man, that's good, man. Been hitting them weights, you know what I'm saying? I'm getting back at it, Matt.
I see.
Hey, I heard the transfer portal. I heard since we got those extra years of eligibility, you know what I'm saying?
You pulling the pop, yeah?
I've been in it, Ty. We got those extra years.
And ladies and gentlemen, last but not least, Mr. Around the Table Sports, the man with the mic, the man with the plan, the one and only Ty Hayes. Ty, how's everything going? I know you're a little sad about some player hitting the portal.
Yeah, I mean, for those of you that have watched me for the past year, I said last year that outside of the obvious Ryan Williams, Zabian Brown, right, that I thought one of the jewels of the class was Justin O. Guy Nick Saban said that if he played here in America, would have been a 5-star. But that's listen, before anybody gets mad at the staff, understand that's just the state of college football. That's not an indictment on this staff. That's an indictment on where we are. Georgia just lost a starting edge. That's where we are. This guy was going to be second wave rotation, especially with some of the moves we've made. But it still stings. I'll tell you what else stings, gentlemen, is that loss to Michigan. And ever since last Tuesday, ever since I had to watch the Tide play soft, well, damn it, I've been soft. So you know what I went out and got my wife?
Pause.
Because I've just been so soft from watching the Tide be soft. I had to get her something hard, so I went and got her some Lambstone. Petty, let us know where everyone else can get them their Lambstone to supplement for things that may have been lost.
Well, lucky for you, Ty, Lambstone never goes soft like the Tide did this season. They're always hard and hard on your house. So don't settle for subpar materials when you're looking for that project around your house. Go hard with Lambstone's Real Rock Natural Thin Stone Veneer. Check out Lambstone company selection of natural stone products for any of your project needs. They are located in Aniana, Alabama, and one of the oldest, most trusted sources in the state. So contact them today and tell them we sent you by using the promo code the Bama Standard and receive 10% off your purchase of stone. And that way your house can go much harder than that Alabama football team this year.
Rock hard.
Rock hard. Nutrigenics hard. Nugenics.
Oh, I'm just getting back in this.
You mean that I was gonna make a Fox Sports 1 joke.
I don't know. Whatever that Dixie drooping stuff is, Frank Thomas down at Auburn promotes.
or whatever they had going on at Fox 1.
Yeah,
Skip
Fox
Bayless
1.
Skip.
It's my turn.
Man, I didn't think NIL extended to the broadcasting, but dang.
I see. A lot of tampering going on. So, guys, let's we got a lot to talk. Transfer portal, roster, Alabama, college football, basketball, on an island. But guys, let's start with transfer portal news. The Alabama portal ended yesterday, I believe. Had some guys get in, as Ty mentioned. It's the state of college football. Justin O put his name in there. Let's just kind of go around the table. I'll start with Dan. He's our lead recruiting analyst, and I'll go with Ty right after that. And then, Dan, give us your thoughts on latest transfer portal news. Guys, we've got committed. And guys, we kind of lost. I'll let Ty get on. Guys, we kind of lost in the state of college football.
Okay, yeah. With the commitments, I think Bama. We got 4 guys that I would list as guys I think will make immediate impact, and that is start with Kelby Collins, the 6'5", 280-pound defensive lineman. We added Cam Dewberry, 6'4", 320-pound interior lineman. Isaiah Horton, a nice big receiver that we've been looking for on the outside. And Nikhil Hill Green, that gives us, experience and a thumper inside, and a great supplement for losing Campbell. So especially with Deontay Lawson coming back, they should form a formidable linebacking core. The other guys, are just depth pieces, maybe one developmental, but Draylon Washington, the one we picked up yesterday, 5'8", 205-pound running back out of Louisiana. Arkell Rugwin, I guess the offensive lineman from Ball State. I look at him more as a project, depth piece. And Cam Calhoun, another depth piece, I think will be a guy that will contribute, in the secondary. So, nice pickup of guys. We're doing a good job of supplementing, but I don't think we're done. I expect us to be active again once the spring portal opens up.
Dan, before I give it to Ty, I know we lost Amari Jefferson.
Mm-hmm.
You think we try to backfill with another receiver, or what are your thoughts on the receiver room? Or you think the coaching staff is pretty happy where they're at?
I mean, listen, we lost a lot of guys. Alabama's gonna bring in guys. I expect us to, and we're gonna evaluate, continue to evaluate. You don't ever want to turn down guys you think can contribute. And sometimes the NIL involved. A lot of other things, but I expect us to be open to taking another receiver if possible.
Okay.
But we'll see. Hey, once spring guys get out of spring, then there'll be others that understand where they're at. So maybe guys from other schools hit the portal, and I expect us to be active and pursuing guys at the wide receiver position.
Got it. Ty, talk about what you were kind of mentioning earlier regarding Justin O, his departure, the state of college football, just where, your thoughts about the portal and Alabama's portal.
Yeah, I mean, this is just what college football is, right? I mean, I think for Alabama, just to know, as much as it hurt, it makes sense. We have to remember, on top of getting the guy from Colorado in via the transfer portal, a lot of linebackers in this past class, right? A lot of linebackers. It was a very linebacker-heavy class. And on top of that, in my opinion, gentlemen, one of the bigger reasons, it's just the ability to tamper. But then you look at what the roster provides. Justin Jefferson's back, that JUCO ruling, and that's big for Bama. I mean, that right there, you return a lot of depth at linebacker. So that's a hit. You don't like it. Jeremiah Alexander, another one who hit the portal. But you had a linebacker heavy class. You addressed linebacker in the portal with a guy that started, a guy that was very productive for Colorado this year. And you went and were able to retain some guys from this team. So it makes sense to me. When we look, guys, there's nobody on the transfer portal exodus that is super shocking to me. Honestly, and I think, people here might disagree with me. That is what it is. I'd be interested in hearing it from y'all. I think Justin O thus far is the most surprising transfer portal loss. Caleb Odom made sense. The point where he tweeted during the season, that was kind of the first sign to me, like, that might not be going well. Jeremiah Alexander, that one was also maybe a little bit more surprising, but one that you probably could have seen coming. I thought Justin O was up next. That's why that one to me is the most surprising. Dan, to your point, before I pass it on, Cam Calhoun's an interesting one. Kid's very talented, very high upside. We all just saw what Alabama did, taking a guy from a USC who was good in Damani Jackson. Damani played an unbelievable level. I mean, Bama fans, we're really lucky you get him back because that guy probably was a fringe first-round grade, but he wants that first-round lock. Mo Linguist has been fantastic, but Dan, you want to know what I think's interesting? As they move Mbakwe from defense to probably primarily offense, what do? Oh, well, you go and get a guy to supplement that defensive back room. And that's what I think is super interesting. The staff's being proactive. You love to see it.
Yes.
I like it. Let's go to Chris. Now I want you to talk about different how does the roster shake out looking at these guys, especially the linebackers? I know.
Well, I think the roster is in a really good place. You can see the overturn because you have to keep in mind that DeBoer and Womack had to get guys that fit their system, their particular system, which was completely different than what Coach Saban, his staff had. So it was going to be roster overturned by default. So I believe by us getting more guys in that fits Womack's attacking style of defense, especially at the linebacker position, the kid from Colorado, man, he is like a tackle to tackle thumper, man, who's gonna those runs that burst up the middle because guys are out of position. That right there is about to be at a minimal because he's a filler, man. He fills those holes. And just having Justin Jefferson and Lawson back, man, that experience right there, you get your defensive play caller back, man, that's huge. That's very huge. Then up front, you add a guy like Kelby Collins to Overton is coming back. Now it's going to be a battle up front who's going to start because you got to keep in mind James Smith was coming into his own. So you got a guy like James Smith battling for one of those spots up front.
Jordan Renard,
who's coming to his own, who's rounding to his own. Tim Keenan coming back is huge, man, because Damon Payne was his primary backup, and with him gone in the portal, it would have been a void there at the nose, and our one technique nose. So just having him come back, and then Overton and adding Kelby Collins, man, I think this is gonna be the most the best we've been up front in a few years on the defensive line with guys that probably will end up playing on Sundays. In the secondary, adding Cam Calhoun, like he's a starter, man. He's somebody that's gonna push Brown. That's gonna push Xavier Brown from day one. Like he's not coming to sit on the bench, man. He's coming to play. And the good thing about it, we rotate a lot of DBs because you remember under Saban, what you saw is what you're gonna get. It wasn't all that rotation. The rotating DBs, it didn't happen under Coach Saban, but under Coach Kane Womack and Mo Linguist, and Hitzler, a lot of those guys were rotating, especially at the corner position, and then at safety, you add a guy like you bring Saab back, you have Hubbard's coming back, and then we lost King Mack. You bring in a guy like Ivan Taylor, man, who's an absolute stud and who's the staff is very high on. So
Zay
that
Mincy
rotation,
played well against Michigan too.
yeah, they look great. He looked great, man. So just having those bodies, man, you gotta understand the SEC is a grind. That's a physical conference, and just like we lost guys for the year, you got to have guys that are ready to step up, like starter caliber. And I think we're too deep in the secondary. We're too deep, and that's a good thing, man. You can't have enough depth in today's game with the transfer portal and all this tampering going on. Like I was talking to the guys before the show, you guys, the long gone are the days that your third string quarterback is a future Heisman winner, or that your third string running back is a future dope walker winner. Kids just aren't waiting anymore, man. Those paydays out there waiting, those kids, they're not even willing to sit a year anymore. Like they want instant gratification, man. Like if they come in and they're not playing year one, a lot of them take their ball and run. So it's all about trying to keep your roster balanced, man. Just having like you really can't look at the roster now and be like, okay, in 26 we're gonna have this blah 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 blah, because there's gonna be 20 some guys gone from this roster that's gonna be in 25. So you got to kind of like look at it like the NBA, like a pro sports team. You got to look at it for this year and this year only. You really can't build for 2 to 3 years down the line anymore, because kids just aren't sitting around waiting like that no more, unless they're coming in as a freshman. And then if they're playing, then next thing you know, you got to pay them. So it's crazy though. But I like what we did on the defensive side of the ball in the portal, and I think that we're gonna be pretty doggone good in 25.
Lucian, I'm gonna give it to you, and Petty's gonna round us out. Any other potential positions you want to kind of go after? I know you're big on the defense. I just want to get your thoughts regarding, any potential positions, players you might want to see out there.
I just think it's going to be interesting competition on the offensive and defensive lines, because there's going to be a lot of holes. I know Jaden Roberts announced that he's coming back, so that position is going to be dealt with. But at the same time, we need to develop depth. We saw what happens in an SEC grind of a season where, you're going to get an offensive lineman banged up. You're going to need somebody, if not as good, just damn near, subpar, to actually carry the weight what's going on in the season. Because with this offense, how they want to move, they're going to want to move the ball. So you're going to need depth in every position, especially most importantly up front. So I think it's going to be interesting, the competition in the trenches.
Ty, give us your thoughts on the portal, just the state of college football. I know Ty mentioned some of it. I meant to say Petty, sorry. Just give us your thoughts, sir, regarding what you're hearing about the portal. Maybe some things that we're not hearing. Obviously, tampering numbers are going crazy. Just round us out on this topic.
Well, man, what I'm hearing is I don't understand how teams, and I know we keep saying this, it's gotta happen at some point. Like I'm hearing numbers for offensive linemen. If you started a game at even like a non-Power 5 school as an offensive lineman and you're in the portal, they're commanding $700,000. So that's $700,000 for a dude that may be good, maybe average. He started one damn game. Then you get him to your school, and your starter that's there is making $250. Well, he's going to go to his agent and say, "Man, well, I got this new guy asking for $7. I want that, or I'm going to get in the portal." So do the math. You're 700,000 in on just your freaking offensive line. The numbers are just so insane right now for what these kids are asking. So I'm trying to keep up. I think Bama's made some, to get into what's going on. I like some of the pieces, but it seems watered down right now. You're not seeing the big names that you did even last year, and they're asking for more money. So it's just so damn insane. I feel like we do this, and I'm struggling with roster knowledge right now. I mean, I hate to be the old man yell at clouds, but in that old era, I knew the roster for pretty much everybody in the SEC, at least their starters. And now I feel like from the movie Major League every year, I pull up the paper and I'm like, who are these fucking guys? So like I'm looking, I'm sorry, I had to do research for this. I know the big names like Collins and those guys and the big receiver for Horton from Miami, but who the hell's Peter Knudsen from God knows where, two-star tight end? Like all these guys, just crazy. I don't know. But names, I know this. I know Bama's windows closed, and we got all these crazy windows. Some two teams are going to lose this week. Well, guess what? A 1 week window then opens for those two teams. So we might have a few more names in the portal. It's just a never ending cycle. It's not even fun to keep up with anymore, to be honest. So I hope we get some good ones. I hope the guys are doing their homework when they get here. I'll learn who the hell they are and pray that they stay for a while.
I like it. Let's shift. We kind of discussed the roster. Let's talk about Alabama real quick. Returning starters, look at next year. Keon Sabb said he's returning. Defense looks like they're going to be kind of in a good place. That's where I'm going to start with. Lushan, give us your take on Alabama's defense. Then I'll go Petty, Dan, Chris.
Well, Chris really touched on it, like in what he was saying in his segment. Depth. We're going to have a lot more experience and a lot more effective production in what we have coming back, especially when it comes to our linebacker and secondary. We're going to return our basically 3 starters in Xavier Brown, Damani Jackson, and Day Jones, which is huge. Not to mention, we're going to have possibly 3 starting safeties in the back because, like Ty said, Zay Mincy, to me, he played out and he didn't really get a chance all season. So it's going to be interesting to see with Sapp coming back, him and Hubbard, and how that whole thing breaks down. Plus the emergence of Ivan Taylor. The defense is actually despite what people say, the defense was actually very, very good this year. And to get the amount of talent with the experience that we got back, it's actually scary. And who we added in the transfer portal, like Dan said, these guys are going to be impact immediate players. I am so high on our defensive transfers that we got in. This defense might start giving people chills next year if it pans out and these guys develop and they buy into Kane Womack's system. Because once he gets the players in, like they're getting in, this system is going to be deadly. Just got to give it time. Got to get their guys in.
Petty?
I agree wholeheartedly. I love what Lou said there. If there was one shining light from that shitstorm of a bowl game was, Womack caught a lot of heat this year. The defense got better, man. The defense is what kept them in games there at the end and absolutely gave us a chance to win the bowl game. That game could have been 28, 30, 35 to 7-0 in a blink. And the defense just, refused to give up. I was really excited to see. And like you said, what with Keenan coming back, Overton, who I feel like getting better and better. If he starts to finish at the quarterback, man, that guy's going to blow up next year. And then you add Kelby Collins from Florida off the end. I'm with you, Lou. I'm excited about the defense. And I think that's where, this Bama team looking forward, you wouldn't expect it under DeBoer, but that's going to be the cornerstone that you're going to have to build off next year because it's going to be a defensive team and then figure out who the quarterback is and figure some stuff out. But no, I'm excited about the defense. I don't think we need to give up quite yet on Mr. Womack because, they were swarming.
Let's shift gears to the offensive side of the ball. Ty.
More worried about that.
What are you most excited about returning starters? I know these guys covered the defense. Going to give Womack a lot of toys. What are you most excited about on the offensive side for Ryan Grubb's offensive players to have?
I see what you did there. And we'll see, right? Grubb would be a welcome addition because I think Sheridan has the ability to be a really good offensive play caller, but my God. And listen, this isn't one of those situations where it's all on Sheridan. Milroe really struggled at times this year. Sheridan really struggled at times this year. for Alabama offensively, it was almost like when it rained,
It poured.
it poured. I mean, poured. And I don't just mean like quarterback struggled. The play calling wasn't making sense. I mean, the offensive line forgot how to block. It poured, right? Like, but what I am looking forward to is Parker Brailsford returning, because I think there's an argument to be made that even though Tyler Booker is a first rounder, Parker Brailsford played just as well this year to me as Tyler Booker. I'm not going to say better, but just as well. I'll go there. You return Jaden Roberts. You return Caden Proctor. You got 3 of the 5 returning on this offensive line. Okay. You got to replace a guard. You got to replace a tackle. So what I think Michael Carroll, guys, is going to come in. I think he's going to win that job day one. I do.
100%.
I think this kid is the best offensive lineman in the nation. Guard, tackle, center. That's how high I am on him. If you bring back Jeremy Bernard with Ryan Williams, I know you lost Caleb Odom. I know you lost Hamilton Jefferson. Ryan Williams, Jeremy Bernard, Jalen Hale. Come on now. Like, we keep talking about what we lost. We've completely forgot that a wide receiver we all thought was in for a huge year, Jalen Hale, is returning.
I expect Rico. Don't forget Rico. I expect a jump.
Rico Scott.
100%.
100%. Isaiah Horton was really good.
Yeah, Isaiah
for
Horton's
Miami
going to
too.
be.
Yeah, he's big 6'4" kid, good body size.
Loxier Brooks, right? Like, I mean, this wide receiver room. Let's not be fooled.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about that.
Derek
Meadows, right? A guy that has high upside.
These
needs
boys
to
can pick him up and put him down.
Yep. Running back is going to be interesting. I like what I see out of Richard Young. I think he provided something that no other running back did last year, and that was he hit the hole mean.
Yeah.
Right? Like, nobody's going to do anything with that.
No Diddy.
I was going to do it.
Full Diddy.
But I was
all Diddy. All the Diddy.
Full Diddy,
Okay.
baby.
Okay.
I mean,
I even stopped because I was like, come on, guys. We're losing our touch.
Hey, Ty, you don't have the twist out on.
you know,
Yeah.
we ready. I was going to do a gesture. I was like, ooh.
Well, I didn't know if we were going Fox 1 or not.
So, yeah,
Or
I'm
Diddy.
excited. I'm excited about the offense, right? But, God, do I need to see better. Because, Matt, like you said, it got to where we had one look. No runs. Ryan Grubb and Kalen DeBoer rushed the ball 400-plus times at Washington. Like, what happened? I don't know.
We'll see. I'm excited to see how the offense, if Ryan Grubb comes, the schematics. Like, I think this year, final SEC stats, Alabama was 9th in rushing. When the year before, under Tom Reese and Coach Saban, we were number 1. So it's a lot I think we need to be able to bring back, regardless who's the OC or the quarterback. I think that's going to help this offense get the ball in playmakers' hands. Dan, give me your thoughts on returning players and specifically regarding the running back room. We lose Justice Haynes. We got A.K. Deere coming. Like, what are you hearing from the staff? Are they happy, obviously, outside of Richard Young and Jam Miller with what they got and with A.K. Deere coming in? What was the reasoning for bringing in, obviously, the talented running back out of
Louisiana?
Washington. Washington.
Yeah, Alabama, that was a numbers situation. Alabama wanted 6 running backs, scholarship running backs. They brought in another one, but there's a few hiccups with the paperwork, logistics of it. So Draylen Washington just seemed to make more sense at the time. They love what they have from the little 3 or 4 clips of them we've seen of them. I've seen a home run hitter. I've seen a guy that can get behind the block, hits the hole hard. No Diddy, full Diddy. But yeah, he's he's a guy I think that, definitely a depth piece and experienced depth piece. Great. If you're gonna lose, Justice Haynes, I know a lot of the Bama fans were frustrated with some of the things that, Justice Haynes, he just didn't have the field vision. Well, Draylon Washington, he has it. He's a more effective runner, but I think with that said, I think, Justice Haynes is gonna go to Michigan and kill it, in the Big Ten. Sad to say, but Washington, going back to Washington, he's a guy that the staff got in and they liked it. They moved fast. He went on another visit. I forgot where to after the Bama visit, but he immediately made the decision right after that visit. So Bama won out in the end. He just had an opportunity that he felt was too good for him to pass up.
All right. Well, Chris, you're back. Anything you want to regard about the staff?
Yes. First, I want to give a shout out to my boy Jason Jones, who was recently added to the secondary today. Jason hosted me on my visit to Alabama, and a big part of the reason why I came to Bama, because he gave it to me real, man. He just told me, just kind of told me how special it was, before, because I knew about it. Yeah, I had to hear from a current player, man, and he just told me how how special it was, man. He had me ready to dress out on my visit, man. I was pumped, man. By the time I left there, and then I played with him, and then my junior senior, he was a GA on in the secondary at Bama. So he's a guy that's familiar with Kane Womack. He's been to Ole Miss, he's been to Indiana, and just having them on staff, that type of experience is a huge plus to add to that side of the ball. So I'm excited with the changes. It seems like Caden the boys being proactive with the staff and with the players, man. So I'm elated, man. But I'm telling you, man, my sleeper man is Isaiah Horton. Just having that big body out there, man, to complement Ryan Williams and Bernard. Now you can slide Ryan Williams in that slot, and let them work those linebackers, work the middle of the field, and it's going to be a thing of beauty. And you bring Hale back, and you go 4 wide, man, and then you necessarily don't have to have them. Like, you can bring a guy like Bakwe in, or a guy like Cole Adams in, or a guy like Lazier Brooks in. So, I mean, we have options, man. Derek Meadows, another big guy. So I really believe we had addition by subtraction. What I mean by that was, like, Kobe Prentice, I believe with a better quarterback play, he would have been a bigger piece to the offense, because I think he's really good. But with Kendrick Law, he's a guy that you kind of got to scheme to get open, to get the ball to, kind of like a poor man's Debo Samuel. He's not the best route runner, but he's dynamic with the ball in his hands, and that just wasn't something that seemed like it fit the board system. Because you go back to the Washington days, he had those big, tall, big, long receivers, man, that knew how to run routes. They were technicians, man. They knew how to get over, knew how to block downfield. They were physical, man, because Romo Duze was a problem, man. Jalen Pope was a problem. McMillan was a problem. And that's what it seems like he's trying to get back to by adding a big guy like 6'4" guy like Isaiah Horton to the mix, and what he's doing. And at the running back, with the kid from Louisiana Monroe, just don't look at his stats and just think that, Bama just no, man. I posted 2 clips to the guys showing them home run threat, man. That kid has home run ability. He's a one cut guy. He's gonna get north side, makes another cut, and he's gone out the gate. So he's somebody you have to account for. And you can't just be like, well, why Bama's bringing in another back? Because we only have one back with real game experience. One. So even though Richard Young is coming up, but we really don't know how, he is in blitz pickup, or depending on a guy like AK did, he's going to be good. They may be good run the ball, but it's other things than just run the ball, man. You got to be able to pick up that blitz. You got to have guys with experience that knows how to you know, the little things, man. Like somebody see a running back, they just think it's one thing, just running the ball. No, it's little things, and that's what gets you on the field and what keeps you off the field. When if you can do those little things or not. So it just seemed like everything that they brought in, man. Cam Dewberry, man. What could have been a better replacement, Ty,
Right.
out there for Booker than him? Like that's awesome, man. He's a starter for A&M, and he's about the same size as Booker.
Bill. Yep.
He fit the bill. A big guy, 6'5", 320-pound kid, 6'4", 6'5", and he's a plug and play guy. And now I think the last position we have to figure out is that right tackle. Will Wilkin Formby step up and be the guy that we thought he could be, that we need him to be, or will it be a young guy like Jackson Lloyd, or a young guy like Casey Poe, or Elias Alien, or who's the other one? Michael Carroll, would he start out at tackle?
Matt
So
Waldrop.
Matt Walsh, yes, you got these different guys, man. So I believe, yes, and I truly believe that with what we have on the roster, one of those guys will step up to the plate, at least one of them, and be serviceable. And if the answer isn't on the roster in the during spring ball, like spring portal, somebody may hop in the portal, you know. So you never know, man. But I just like what we did, Matt, and just the pieces, how we put it together. Everything seems to fit. He went in with intentions. It was intentional. Everything he did.
I like it. All right, guys, we covered that. Let's shift to our next topic, and let's talk about coaching changes. We kind of mentioned, Sheridan, Ryan Grubb, Jason Jones. I'm putting it out in the air, guys. I'm putting it out in the air. Let's get on these coaching changes and potential, biggest news I think of the week for most Alabama fans was obviously seeing what was going on in Seattle Seahawks. I think they won, but they didn't make the playoffs. And Mike McDonald, the head coach of the Seahawks, is like, he's cool, but we're trying to go in a different direction offensively. So I think that with the continuity, I think Brian Grubb, the way he can run Alabama's offense, if he is going to be the guy, I think it helps us in DeBoer and this offense do numbers moving forward. But we got some other coaching changes as well. So let's start with Dan on one coaching change. Chris kind of mentioned Jason Jones being added. I think Jason Jones, I'll start with you, Chris. I know, just touch on it briefly. I think Mo Lingo is going to take over the whole secondary, but now they're bringing in Jason Jones to kind of be an assistant. He was the DB coach at UNC. I just think that's going to really help with the communication, having that one voice back there. Chris, I'll let you touch on it, and then Dan, you can cover some other coaching changes as well.
Personally, I think that most still going to stick with the corners. I believe Jason will probably be coaching the safeties. That's what he played. That's what he played. That's just my line of thinking. Because I still think Mo is going to be the overall secondary coach. But like I said, I don't think he moves from the corners. I think his focus is still going to be on the corners. And Jason has plenty of experience, 20-something years on this level, and he'll be with the safety.
Dang, you old.
Shut up, man. Matt's old too. Matt was there too.
All right.
So,
Dan, what talk about your other coaching changes? I think Chuck Morrell became the linebackers coach. Want to get your thoughts on that?
Yes, I don't think they will officially announce everything as far as what position groups until usually around the spring. I think that's what they tend to do every year. Like a little bit before spring practice, they announce who's coaching what, and as they finalize, the coaching staff. But Morrell, got a relationship with the board dating back to earlier stops, and he's somebody that he trusts. So I don't know. The jury's still out as far as me. We're gonna see, but I think overall, the defense played well. Hitchler, I don't know what happened with it. The backstory, I might have been a fly on the wall there, but the main thing is we retain Mo Linguist, and that's one position that I think we saw development, and that's the topic we're going to get into later. But what I saw from Coach Linguist and what he was able to do with the young guy and the older guy who hadn't tapped his potential, that can't go understated. Tremendous job that he's done. If we're giving out a Coach of the Year award, he would get my vote. But retaining him was huge. So I think we better enjoy this next year or two, because teams are going to be coming after him. Because he does an outstanding job. He's great at what he does. But I think we may continue to see more shuffling on the especially on the offensive side. We're going to see there's a coach out there that's just let go on the West Coast this week, so we're going to see what goes on with that. I'm pretty sure you'll love that, Matt.
I know I will. Chris?
Well, to kind of kill the speculation on that, it was just simply told that it just wasn't a good fit. Because you may have success with guys or with certain coaches or blah blah blah, whatever. But sometimes it's just like water and oil don't mix. It is basically a water and oil situation. I'm leaving it at that.
Let's go
not like you put that water in that chicken that you fry in your crock pot.
No, I put sugar in your gas tank.
Ty, I'm gonna go to you real quick. I still think it's still a coaching change that needs to be happening. I've been on him all year, special teams coach Nunez. I just think we were kind of clueless. Can you elaborate on, maybe his position? Obviously, you mentioned Sheridan. Just kind of some other possible coaching changes that could be out there.
They could have hired me, dog.
Yeah. I don't listen. I've been out of the loop. Y'all know I just started that law job, so I'm super out of the loop. But I will say this, and I told y'all this when he got hired. I knew we had to watch out whenever Oklahoma fans were coming to me and saying, "Thank you for taking Nunez." Right? Like across the board, my comments were OU fans saying thank you.
Yeah, I saw that.
Did I think that it was terrible? No, but I also think it was disjointed. 2 number 2s on the field at the same time. Come on. I mean, that's I don't want to be harsh, guys, but that's high
schoolish.
That's high schoolish. Like
it's your job.
We're at Bama.
No.
This is SEC football. And you got 2 dudes, and one of them's the returner. So it's like, it's not even like someone got, you had to scramble and a guy who's just a piece got thrown out there. One of the numbers was the returner. Both of the guys are starters. It's not like it was just someone who's like a developmental guy. Hey, we're going to throw you out there real quick. That would be bad. But I don't know. Dan, I do think you hit the nail on the head. Mo Linguist was phenomenal. And I did see a question. I'm not going to fully answer it in chat, but I will say this to the person who asked about Cap. Bama cut the sacks in half this year. Bama's offensive line has been terrible for 3 years. Pretty much almost been bottom for sacks allowed. They cut that in half this year while doing a total scheme change that was far more successful than I think it could have been. So I don't think Cap was a problem. I could be wrong on that, but compared to giving up 50 sacks, I don't think Cap was the problem this year.
Let me interject, man. Dude, when you have your hands teams out against South Carolina and you look down and you have a defensive lineman on the hands team, a bunch of fullbacks, and you got Jeremy Bernard and Ryan Williams on the sideline. Come on, dude. And what happened?
They got it.
Off and they recovered it. Like, dude, like, come on, dude, your best guys. I don't care if he's your best receiver. You put your best guys out there that's going to secure the win.
Yeah.
Or a receiver in general.
Ryan Williams and Jeremy Bernard on the sideline, and you have Latham that was out there, and a bunch of H backs, and come on, man. Like,
yeah, Nunez, he's got to go in my opinion. Like, he has no clue. I look at all the.
I've never seen that, dude. I never seen that.
I looked at all the yards we wasted. Like, he doesn't teach punt returners what to do. Like, they're just out there just like they don't know how to fake out the punt team or nothing. They don't know when the fair catch or nothing. It's just brutal.
Did we have a punt block scheme? The block this? Did we this year? No,
I don't think so.
Did we block anything?
No.
I'm like, where did this guy come from? Is what I want to know. Where was
like?
Give me didn't UNLV block like how many punts this year? Was it UNLV? Yeah, I think it was UNLV that blocked like
Notre Dame too. A lot of
they blocked the almost minute Chris James.
Hey,
but Chris blocked what 4?
Hey, dude, you got to get it how you live, dog. GTD, dog. What time say I'm hard? GTD, dog. Got the drop.
I'm gonna shift to LaShawn real quick. LaShawn, I know you want to bring in somebody on a certain position group. You still think it need to be some changes. I'll let you get your 2 cents in before we get this topic off.
Before we get I think, in order to really progress as a defense, I think we need to shake some things up in our defensive front seven, a little alignment. I think, Roach might need to go to a linebacker position and teach people how to, properly be aggressive as a linebacker coach. And we need to bring in somebody to make this defensive line when we're watching teams like Penn State have a scarier defensive line than us, and we're watching teams in the playoff that people are talking about their defensive line. I look at our defensive line, I'm like, yeah, we got guys that are good, but they're not being taught to actually get to that next level. And it's shown in the fact that, when's the last time Alabama didn't have a defensive lineman go in the first round? We had a streak of a long time of guys going high, especially off our defensive line. And it just hasn't been that. Whether it's been, and I think it comes down to the development. And to progress with Kane Womack's defense, I think we might need to shake up it on the defensive line.
Great point. Chris, put up the towel you mentioned. I think we've discussed this topic way more.
Oh, Chris got a towel.
Finally, dog.
Whenever you are.
So we not did y'all just we did not touch on it being undefeated?
What's the undefeated? We're gonna do this ad real quick, then we're gonna go there.
On the only thing that's undefeated to all men, apparently it's still undefeated to Grubb and kept him in Washington.
A tight towel.
I like it. Listen, we need a good towel. And you're in Tuscaloosa where you're watching Alabama basketball, Coleman Coliseum on the road. Go to Title Towel.
It didn't take long to get here.
They got the best towel in the game. Wave it like a helicopter. Go to Title Towel. Use the promo code STANDARD, STANDARD, Title Towel at wetwillsports.com. Get your Title towel. Everybody's got one waving like a helicopter. All right.
I use my title towel to wipe off my lambstone.
Oh.
Rock hard.
Mine was all over the Caribbean.
Oh Lord, I hate to see what's on that.
I took an ocean with me, washed it off.
Patty, I'm gonna let you get the next one. You, Dan, and Chris, since it's basketball season, y'all. I'm gonna let
Let's
y'all
go, baby.
Let's fucking go. Tide heating up. Number 1 Tennessee got that ass chapped tonight.
By 30.
talk about it. So it's basketball time, guys. Let's talk about the Crimson Tide, Nate Oates. And they are on fire in a really contested SEC. Petty, the floor is yours. You and Chris and Dan.
Man, we're going to talk. Did nobody bring up Ryan Grubb in that last segment, or did I zone out watching basketball?
Oh, we brought it up multiple times.
Okay. I just didn't know if y'all brought up his wife and it being undefeated.
You said it was undefeated.
Yep. All right. Basketball.
That's because he don't have lambstone.
He needed some rock.
It needs some rocks.
Tell you what, man, you need some rocks to be playing in this SEC basketball right now. It is freaking nasty on the road. Kentucky's already dropped one to Georgia. Number 1 Tennessee just lost by 30 to Florida. Tell you what, though, man, when those guards for Alabama get shooting right now, Fine, Sears, those guys, and then just the mix, you're not having to rely on Nelson this year to do so much. And when he's scoring 20 a night, tell you what, man, when you look up and Bama's putting 48 at the half, there's nobody in the country can beat this team. If the guards are playing, you got Cliff down low that's getting better and gelling more and more. Diabate, I wish he could get more minutes. That kid's a baller. This is the deepest Tide team Oates has had, which is going to be good because if you are not paying attention, SEC basketball is better than it's ever been in the history of SEC basketball. It is now the ACC. You better win at home, which Alabama's going to do. Take care of home court, and then go steal some on the road wherever you can, which tomorrow night's perfect chance. You're going to South Carolina, and look, Bama can beat anybody just because they got the talent to do it, but it's going to be tough. You're going to lose some road games in the SEC, so don't get discouraged, but definitely tomorrow night's one to go get. Yeah, Auburn's, man, dude, hate to say it, plain truth said it. And I know Chris is going to get all excited. He might be in the massage parlor, and this might end his night. This might just be the finishing blow. Auburn may be the best damn team in college right now. That sucks.
That sucks.
Kick him off.
That's right. Auburn beat that ass. I mean, Bama beat that ass, too.
Hey.
Patty, come on, man.
I know you hate to hear that, man, but dude, I know, Lou. It sucks to say we're not supposed to give credit to those shitheads down in Lee County.
Hey,
but
my money's still on that Tide. My money's still on the Tide, man. I'm gonna tell you why.
Why? Bama gonna win. Tell me why Bama's gonna win it all, Chris.
Number 1.
So we got the title towel.
There it is. And then we got that lambstone.
The rocks.
But guys, think about it, man. We just got Chris Youngblood back, so he's working his way back into it, man. Like, what makes Bama so dangerous is this is the most offensively gifted Bama team I've ever seen. Because simply being because we have so many guys that can get you 20, 25 a night. Like last year, like, okay, the number 1 overall seed team 2 years ago, we depended on Brandon Miller. If Brandon Miller was off, Sears, you had Sears, you had Quinterly, but it wasn't too much more. You had was it Keon Ellis on that team too? Or was he the year before that?
He was the year before that.
Yeah. We've had teams where we had pieces. And like we had teams where guys may have missed each other by 1 year. You get what I'm saying? Like Keon Ellis left, Herb Jones, those guys left, and the next group comes in. So, but with Brandon Miller, man, like he had to put the team on his shoulder so much last year. Mark Sears had to do it a lot. This year, man, if Mark Sears is down, it's one game he didn't even score. We scored 100. And Phylon, LeBaron Phylon, man, that he is the X factor. He is, to me, the best freshman guard in the country. The kid is an NBA lottery pick. Then you have guys like Reed. Most years he would be the alpha on the team most years. But shoot, he's probably what, the 6th, 7th option, scoring option right now, and he's an NBA lottery guy. So, it's just, man, Nelson is playing big boy ball. He's getting you 8, 10, 12 rebounds a game, and he stepped it up another notch. Jaren Stevenson, while he may not hit, he's gonna have that night where it's gonna be a night that's gonna come through where he's gonna hit 7 threes. It's gonna be a night coming. But what's his plus minus is so good, man, because Nate he's kind of like Willie Cauley-Stein back from the Kentucky days, where he'll hound a guard on the perimeter. You couldn't do nothing with him because we have 3, 6, 10, 6, 11 guys in the lineup, and he's out there guarding guards on the perimeter, man. It's hard. It's tough to get a shot off over him, man. You have Youngblood that's back. When he gets back into complete shape, game shape, he was the AAC player of the year last year, the American Conference player of the year last year. So, man, and he's coming off the bench right now. You got Big Cliff in the middle. He's a guy that doesn't have to score much, but his defense has been rock solid.
He played outstanding Saturday.
Yes, Aiden Holloway that came from Auburn. Man, dude had how many 8 threes the other night? How many threes he hit the other night? Last week. And I mean, you got him coming off the bench doing that type of damage, man. That's not it. It's like in most years, guys like Houston Mallett, man, he would have been one of our go-to guys most years, and he's not even seeing minutes. You get what I'm saying?
It points to the depth, and you're gonna need it this year.
And then the X factor on the team is Mo Diabate, man. He's a Swiss Army knife. And he's a guy I think that's going to be an NBA guy. He may play 5 minutes this night. He may play 30 minutes this night. You just never know. Whenever we play somebody physical, just know Mo Diabate is going to have a big part in that game. That's why
he's that guy you see in the paint deep in a game that just he may not flash for 40 minutes, but for about 5 minutes, he's going to make 2 or 3 plays that completely win you a ball game somewhere.
Yes, he's a Swiss Army knife. Man, this dude had like 6 offensive rebounds one game. Not offensive rebounds. That's sick, man. That's unheard of. Had that type of production, man. So, and when we get in those grinded out tough NCAA tournament games, when it slows down and it becomes a half court game, Mo Diabate is gonna be your guy. And that's what's gonna make it. We can play any style. And I really think that while Auburn is good, yes, they're a good team, but I still don't think that overall they're better than Bama. It's just Bama has way too many.
I think Bama's deeper.
Shooters and scorers, man. Like it just take one off night for Auburn, and they're in trouble. Like when they went to Duke, But I just don't. I think they're good. I think they're gonna be a Final Four team. I think Bama and Auburn both will probably be Final Four teams, and we may meet up in the NCAA tournament. Wouldn't that be crazy, y'all? Bama Auburn national championship basketball or Final Four basketball. That'll be sick.
Not as far-fetched, people. I mean, we used to get Duke, North Carolina all the time, and I mean, it's not as far-fetched as you think with this SEC right now.
Right.
It's not crazy.
Dano?
I will be there for an Iron Bowl national championship. You can count me in.
Yeah, you talking about the hate? That's really gonna.
Yeah.
Gonna
feel like what we have with this team, I like it, like Chris said, but the versatility, I wouldn't say the most offensively gifted. I would say the most depth wise. We have a lot of guys that can get you between 10 to 15 points. This is the most balanced, I would say, offensively that we've had. And the thing is, we haven't really shot that well from beyond the arc. Just wait till our shots start falling. There's plenty of opportunity, but fortunately, it hadn't bitten us in the butt yet because we rebound so well. Second chance opportunity, we're doing very good with that. But once our shots start falling, we're gonna be trouble for the SEC run. And you got Auburn, you got Tennessee, even though they they took it on the chin, but that's the way it is on the road in
Florida.
the SEC. You know, you got Florida. You know, Kentucky still. You got Arkansas. You know, so it's you got Mississippi State.
A&M, Ole Miss,
A&M. You know, it's going to be a fun year. You know, the SEC is the conference, the premier conference in basketball. We better be after this, you know, mess that we put out on the football field this year. But you know, maybe we become a basketball conference. But you know, I'm very excited about this team, and you know, I say again, you know, it's Final Four potential from this team. You know, Nate Oates, you know, he does it. You know, he gets the guys to play hard. You know, he puts together the toughest schedule. You know, non-conference schedule that he can get, and by the time we get into SEC play, we're ready to go. Sometimes we had a little love because we're so burnt out. But yeah, he'll send us on the road to the toughest places, and you know that gets us ready for the road in the SEC, and that's why I think this team is going to be successful.
And I don't think we're gonna have that love this year because we're so doggone deep, man.
Yeah, we play much better defense. We improved tremendously within a year on the defensive end.
That's good.
Well, guys, as y'all have been ranting and raving about basketball, I have got to get off. I've got to be up super early to get to the firm to head to a mediation that God knows how long that's going to last. But I get to sit in it and be bored. But roll Tide.
Make sure you take
that lamstone if you're soft. It'll provide some sort of hardness in your life, and that's about the only advice I can give you.
Make sure you stop by the NCAA office and get me a max paycheck that it owes.
Yeah.
Giving out all this meal.
I'm gonna hit the NCAA with the people's elbow.
You got your kneel in that little check from EA Sports.
Did y'all got y'all's?
Yes.
I knew. What'd you get? Like $2,500?
$2,500, more like $25.
Oh, y'all got screwed, man. I knew a dude from state. I mean, maybe he only got like $250, but he got like I thought he got like $2,000.
Like a couple hundred, some crazy.
Maybe it was like a couple hundred.
That's because he went cheap and hired me as his representative.
Well, listen, guys, let's shift to On an Island real quick with me and Chris, where we talk everything Alabama football. Welcome to On an Island. It's year 2025. And we got a lot to discuss regarding Alabama football. Chris, I'm going to start with you. What is it that you want to talk about on an island real quick?
Yeah, I want to go back to the addition to Jason Jones being part of the secondary. He's a guy to give people more on him. He's a guy that's played in the SEC. He started doing the both years. He's recently been the secondary coach in North Carolina the last couple of years. He's been at Indiana. He's been at he's been at Ole Miss, so that's where the familiarity comes from with guys on this staff or whatnot. But he's
Womack's dad, right? At Ole Miss.
Dave Womack. So he's very smart, man, and he will continue the great safety play that we've been having. And he's a guy that loves crimson, man. He's a great guy. He's a guy that bleeds crimson. And you got to come to a point when it's such roster turnover and every year and stuff like that, people leaving. It's good to have coaches on the staff that's been a part of it, that understands the process, just the Bama way, just the way of doing things, that loves Bama, man. So you know you're going to get your all from them, on and off the field on the recruiting trail. And he could talk about his personal experiences. When he's in those living rooms, man, he can sell. He lived it. You get what I'm saying? He can sell it, man. And just being able to still be there to help Womack, man. These guys, man, I really believe Bama will probably have one of the best secondaries in the country next year, but definitely the best corner tandem because I don't think it's gonna get any better than 1 and 2 at corner. Jackson and Brown at corner. Then you add in Cam Calhoun, man, in that mix right there, man, and you already have Day Jones, who was a starter at weight, who's playing like a man possessed, man. Like, dude, we are loaded, y'all, and I just really truly feel that we had the type of roster next year that can withstand injury. They can withstand injuries, but we're gonna get back to those ball hawking ways, man, and do some damage next year, man. But I'm excited, man, about the future of the secondary, where it's headed for the 25 season.
I heard that, and we're gonna shift gears to on an island with Matt. And as always, I'm on the offensive side of the ball, and whoever the play caller is, whoever the quarterback is, we've got to be able to just be creative. We got to get back to running the ball, feeding the running backs. We've got to mix up formations, mix up tendencies. We just got to be creative. And I don't know if that was a lack of, we were limited at the quarterback position. We were trying to do what's best. But, I still think that we got to get better. So we need to bring back slants. They're open. There's so many plays to be made in this offense that we got to do. So that's my rant. So whoever the offensive coordinator is, whoever it is, Grubb, Sheridan, whoever, Kalen DeBoer, if he takes over play calling duties, we just got to get creative and utilize all the weaponry we have on the offensive side of the ball. And make sure we got a quarterback in place that's going to distribute the ball, get us in the right place, set the front, read the defense, look at the blitz, all that stuff. That way we can be successful offense and get back to being dominant. So that's my 2 cents on an island. Petty, I see you over there lighting up with your beads. Getting ready.
Now I'm on a boat.
I
go on them carnival ones where they get them bastards get wild.
Yeah. So, guys, we're going to shift on an island to the mailbag of the petty, the most pettiest mailbag there is.
We do indeed have a mailbag. Guys, it's going to be kind of an end of the year. Everybody had these end of the year questions. I'm here to answer them for you. So, with that said, it's going to be kind of a year in review type of thing. I've already put Matt to sleep. First question from our callers, I guess it's email. What's the craziest thing about this new era of college football, Petty? Well, I'm sure most of you would want to say NIL, but that's not really crazy. They've always done that. Chris drove around in a Charger when he was at Alabama. They've screwed that up. That's always been a thing. They just used to make them sit out a year. I've got to say the craziest thing in all of college football is Quinn Ewers. We're about to see a deal. Like, look, man, dudes have always got paid. Dudes have always transferred. I know it's completely broken and effed up now, but we're about to get to an era where college football players are going to opt to stay in college over going to pros because it's more financially beneficial to stay in college than to go to the NFL as one of the top NFL quarterback prospects. Think about that.
Let they pay you to leave.
It is more beneficial to stay in college if you're a top prospect, especially like running backs. If you're because they don't take running backs in the first round anymore. If you're not the bust that's going to be Austin Genty, you're probably not going to go to the second or third round. Yeah, I said bust. So your odds are take Dylan Sampson at Tennessee. What if Tennessee offers that kid $2-3 million to stay one more year? It's just a better deal. That's the craziest thing to me. Not all this NIL, this portal, the fact that it's more financially beneficial to be a college football player right now. Jackson mid-ass Arnold is making more money to go to Auburn and probably get Hugh Freeze fired next year than Brock Purdy, who's played in the damn Super Bowl. Bonkers. All right.
That's
Are you
an
SEC?
I don't understand that.
Yeah, I can't wrap my brain around any of it. Petty, are you an SEC guy? I.e., are you pulling for Texas to represent?
No.
Hell no. Hell no. I'll learn one thing. Texas really does take everything. They're so proud. Everything's bigger in Texas. You're absolutely right. Texas A&M came a few years ago, and we thought Auburn was weird. And Texas A&M said, hold our cult dude cheerleader drinking damn beer. We're a lot weirder. We're the weirdest. Nobody's weirder. So we deal with that for a few years. We get used to the weirdest. Then Texas comes. And you're like, holy hell, we thought the human dog barkers at Georgia or the liquor bottle throwers at LSU were obnoxious. You know, hey, you thought Bama got all the calls? I don't know if you watched Texas football this year. They literally changed games for those son of a bitches. So, no, I'm not SEC. Texas has had the ability to make me pull for damn Ohio State. So, Lou might kill me for saying that. Lou, sorry. You hate teams in orange. I'm pulling for Ohio State. Go Buckeyes. Yes, no, screw the SEC. And just because you got a patch does not an SEC team make. I don't consider you an SEC team just because they handed you a patch. I don't consider Missouri an SEC team. Maybe I'm old man yelling at clouds, but just because you got a patch don't mean I consider you a damn SEC team yet. Sorry. No SEC. The SEC's out of the playoffs as far as I'm concerned right now. 3 things you would change about college football. Ooh, good ones. Great question. First, refs would be put on a public strike system, meaning every time they pulled some shit like they did in Oklahoma against Alabama, it would be a public admonishment of that ref, and you'd know his name. So the next time he showed up a game, if he did it again, his ass would get fired because that's what needs to happen. Second, to make the playoffs, you either play in a power conference or you schedule a top 25 game and win that. Also, the caveat is if you play in a power conference, somehow skip playing a top 25 game team, that also disqualifies you. So, yes, we've got to have some caveats to put teams in this so we don't get any more of this Boise State SMU crap. Finally, in the shitty conference tie-ins, like, no, that's it. The next, no more shitty non-conference games. I don't want to see Georgia Southern or Mercer ever on a schedule again. Just make 12 teams of playing SEC and Big Ten and go to an NFL schedule. And people are finally going to just have to suck it up. Then a 9-4 team or an 9-3, 8-4 team can actually get in the playoffs because nobody on planet Earth right now is saying the Ravens don't deserve to be in the playoffs. The Ravens can't win the Super Bowl because they lost to the damn Cleveland Browns, the worst team in all of the NFL. But guess what? We still think the Ravens deserve to be in the playoffs. Get rid of the Georgia Southerns. That way, the Indianas and all these teams that slipped in by playing 4 shitty non-conferences and to get in a conference, eventually you're going to have to play someone good. So if we want to be a pro setup, give the fans what they want. No more Georgia Southerns, no more USFs, no more of any of that crap. Every game should be a big game. And sorry, if you can't handle an 8-4 team, that's just the way it is. That's the way they do it in the NFL. I'm tired of watching games that suck so bad in the 10th week of the season that you don't even want to watch it, and it's 59-2, and it serves no damn purpose in those games today. No more. Sorry, Georgia Southern. I know y'all like y'all's payout, but go get it somewhere else. Finally, what was the biggest disappointment of the football season for you? I'm not going to lie, man. I thought after coming on the Bama Standard, I had a little bit of, swag. I signed an autograph for one of our fans at the live Bryant Denny show. I thought I'd have the ability to cause the groundswell to make some change in this world. But it's obvious I don't, because there's not a damn Denny dog in Bryant Denny Stadium yet. And until there is, we're going to be doing these same shows wondering why Bama's not winning titles when I've given you the answer all flipping ass year. Bring back the Denny dog.
Bring it back.
Can get rid of Georgia Southern. Best college trip I took. Stayed a week one night at Georgia Southern. Van, we're getting rid of the Georgia Southerns. And we didn't play at Georgia Southern. Bama's never played at Georgia Southern.
So
see, that was a trip. You took some acid, ended up Georgia Southern. Wasn't even a Bama game, Van.
So, guys, that's Petty's mailbag. Always entertaining. So let's get to a few questions and
answers. Oh, yeah, I'm running the show now.
From the
All fans. Right. Dan, have we answered this one? Joe Edwards says, Dan, what's going on with Ty Haywood?
Well, essentially, the family hired an agent and, and Bama's not listening.
Wow.
So money.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's man.
Where do you think he's going to end up at?
I don't know. Right now, not Bama. That's all I can say. Other teams
If he ain't crimson,
there you go.
Van Edwards, I think we've answered. Do we get Ryan Grubb? That's what most fans want to know. It's undefeated, Van.
That's a good one. Undefeated.
It's undefeated, man. She won again. What she got against Tuscaloosa? Do we know?
I don't know.
She don't like sweet tea. She'd rather her tea not be sweet.
Mm-hmm.
She don't like Milo's. Van Edwards, I propose a new segment called "Do You Smell What the Crock Is Cooking?" hosted by Chris James, and he breaks down one big rumor a week about the team, players, or coaches. I'm writing that shit down.
I like the smart rumors.
That's what the crock. I'm not lying. We're right. This is the crock is cooking.
Man, I had to get another crock pot because my last one burnt out.
You can only put so many chitlins and hog maw and pig.
I don't eat no chitlins. I don't eat all that, man. That's a Dan old alley. Back in the day, we used to eat pork. Don't lie to me. You haven't eaten pork in 25 years, but don't lie.
Listen. Yeah, they told me I either had to give up pork or alcohol. No,
Run table sports.
yeah, that's a no-brainer.
You guys think someone is slipping away from us, being that they brought in another running back? Scratching my head on that one.
No. Like I said, depth. You know, definitely had to have depth. You had to have 6 scholarship running backs. That's what they wanted.
Because keep in mind, Hill. It was at one point we had 3 running backs hurt this year.
Yeah.
Who's hurt? Was it Hill, Riley, and
you remember one year? What was it?
We had to move Leary to running back.
Drake was hurt, and we were down to Tyron Jones as our running back. You remember that, Chris?
Yeah. One year, you remember SEC championship game? Leary was our number 2 back. Yeah, Leary was number 2 back behind Brian Robinson.
Yeah, so,
hurt Brian Robinson.
Hey, you got to have numbers at the position,
and you got to have effective numbers at those positions. You can't just bring. You can't just bring, a wide receiver over to play running back or a linebacker like we did a couple years ago to play running back. Like, no, you need somebody that knows what they're doing with the ball in their hand.
Right. That's a situation where you didn't want to bring in another high school guy. That you didn't want to do that.
No.
Whopper says, I think Ivan Taylor replaces Moore, the Florida kid with the good size coming in. Do you think I'm gonna leave that one to Dan and Chris? Or maybe Lou's our D guy.
Man, we got some dogs back there now.
We got some big dogs.
You're gonna have to earn it. It ain't gonna be given to him.
No,
I think
not next year, man. He got
nobody's taking over. You got Mincy, you got Day, you got Sam,
Nobody's taking over. No. He still got to beat out Red Morgan.
Yeah, you got some experience. He got some experience ahead of him.
They don't make a change at offensive coordinator. Does any of it matter?
Well, we'll see. We'll see what we get out the quarterback position before we.
I'm not sold. It was Sheridan, man. I'm sorry. I think Milroe was that much of a liability. When someone look, Oklahoma, they shut down what Milroe was good at, running, and all he could do was throw, and then he couldn't throw. What the hell?
We had guys running open. So
what plays do you call at that point? If he can't run and he can't throw, shit. That's it. That's the playbook at that point.
Not only not throw, but you can't see the open guy running up the seam.
I mean, that receiver in the end zone, Michigan, I mean, the guy's wide open in the end zone at the end of the game. I mean, Bernard, right?
Yeah. But if a coach can't reach his player and he can't coach a player to be better than that player, Petty, you see what I'm saying? There's no concrete evidence that says he can. This is Alabama. This is not a place where we do experiments. They fail miserably.
Well,
we need to get somebody. Yeah, I mean, we need to get somebody established that knows what they're doing. That isn't like, oh, well, let's just see this guy's an up-and-comer. No, because we saw what happens in crunch time. It was basically like running a playbook of replay of what we did all season. Like, they have tablets on the sideline. They can literally see what you just did that last drive and make adjustments. And we did not have anybody to counter-attack that. We need to get somebody in the offensive coordinator position that can counter-attack defensive adjustments when they're made against our offense.
Yeah.
I
Man
agree.
has spoken. Kyle, I'm going to say that because I apparently butcher your screen name anytime I say it. Question is DeBoer smart enough to understand that being able to run the ball will do nothing but help all of that passing BS he likes to do?
Right.
I think so.
I think he knows that. He like
Matt,
somebody
this
said
is
he
dear to
wrestled
your
off
heart.
400 times.
You look at the teams
I
that are
think
left in the playoff. They run the ball when they need to.
I don't know, man. It goes back to, and this is, if you're gonna make a knock on Sheridan, I don't know if this put this all, but there was no identity. Hell, just make him hand the damn ball off, build the run. I don't know. It was a mess, man. There was no damn identity. You got to put some of that on the OC. Don Parker,
take the decision making away from
the bad decision maker. And if you're playing him because he's getting paid $2 million and this is all about money and this is what this damn game is now, then you got to figure something.
Give me money and tell him to get the hell on.
Yeah, figure some shit out. Question is Alabama going to also look into replacing Chris Kaplivic? The O-line was horrible this season. Changes is needed. I think Ty spoke on that, man. You go from giving up 60 sacks to 25. Maybe some issues along the line. I'm not sure Kaplovic's the issue. What do you guys think?
Absolutely not. And you also got to realize he's one of the top hottest recruiters in the game right now. Look who he just brought in, our offensive line talent. I know we returned some dogs, but he also signed a very, very impressive freshman class. And you got to understand, we were also recycling off of the dumpster fire that was our offensive line from the last couple of years, these guys being massively overweight and not doing the right technique. It takes sometimes a while to get those bad habits out of the system. And, some certain positions moving off the chessboard and him getting guys that actually fit their system, it's really important. I'm a fan of Cap, for real. I think he's going to do great things, especially with these young guys.
I agree. And I think one of the biggest problem hit the portal, Elijah Pritchett. So that can help our offensive line. And we got some dogs coming in, so don't worry.
Speaking of, that's a great segue to Chuck Baker's question. How is going to block? I don't. Hey man, know that I'm like Ron Burgundy in this shit. You put it up here, I'm probably gonna read it and then throw me off. Who is going to block for all these great players?
He must be an Auburn fan.
You're just touching on that, Matt. You say you got the Hogs are coming in. Jaden Roberts announced he was coming back.
Yeah, I just think DeBoer and them were just trying to maintain the roster, get through the season. You're gonna see a lot of different changes. I think moving forward, all across the board. So. Because DeBoer knows he's got to win, So,
yeah,
no more favorites, no more trying to keep the locker room together. You just got to play the best man. So,
it's what made him successful.
Yep.
And he's got to make it his. It's got to be his program, man. I have some thoughts on that I think would drive people crazy, but I think he's got to put his stamp. And if not, Phil doing it your way or never mind. You got to have some nuts to be a damn Bama coach. Sorry, you got to do it your way. When Saban came in, he said, everybody get the F out. When DeBoer came in, and look, I get he's the greatest coach of all time, but he said, well, I've got this resource here, and I'm going to use him. I don't think he used Saban. I think he planned on doing it his whole way. But when you said that, you set a precedence to Bama fans that Saban's still going to have some kind of influence. There's still going to be some kind of look. Or you even mentioned Saban, well, and Bama fans said, well, we're going to see what Saban did for 15 years. Well, that wasn't ever going to happen. It wasn't his deal. You set a mindset that wasn't a reality. And what you should have done is said, hey, thank you, Nick. You're the greatest of all time. I'm going to need you to move out of the damn football complex and go just do your ESPN thing and not be a shadow right over me. I think that was a mistake on his part. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's just kind of my gut feeling that. Every great Bama coach has come in and done it his damn way and told everybody else get out or get on. And not sold he did that. He's gonna have to. Maybe I'm Could be way off base there, fellas. Final question. Train wreck. Do you think DeBoer will do better next year at in-state recruiting? Auburn owned the state in recruiting this year, getting 8 out of the top 10 talent. Dan?
I expect a much better. You got to think, he came in late. He was behind the 8 ball, but you look at the win that we got last year when he came in with Ryan Williams. That was huge. Ryan Williams actually was supposed to be in this incoming class. So securing Ryan Williams is the biggest win as you can get in state. So yes, I expect him to be much improved. But hey, it's NIL now, so it doesn't matter. We got to get the guys that want to be at Bama, and not blow the budget on, guys that, just to fill a roster spot.
I think too, it's important that with the addition of a former Bama player that has ties in the South, that's going to pay dividends and pay it forward too, especially in recruiting.
Yeah,
I think a lot of Bama fans need to pay attention to the small moves that Kalen DeBoer is making, because in my opinion, that's kind of a very, very big power move that's going to pay it forward in multiple ways moving forward.
I agree.
Back to basics.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Zero out the
it,
clock.
All right. Well, that's
Close us
another.
out, Matt.
Yeah, that's another episode. How can they follow each one of you? Lushan, you're up first.
You can find me on X, Rolu214, on Facebook, Instagram, Lucian Graves. And on Tuesday nights, you can find me exclusively on the Final Whistle, talking Bama football, especially about this next coming year. It's going to be a competition. We haven't seen competition like this. It's going to be a competition in a while, and I'm so excited with what's going forward. And most importantly, roll daggum tide, y'all.
Roll daggum tide. Patty, how can they reach you when you're one of your A-listers?
When I'm not spying and doing all the other stuff I do.
Yeah.
You can catch me all over the Bama Standard, man. I'm here on Monday nights with Smoke at 7 for the opening kick, talking SEC football, talking NFL, talking a little bit of everything, trying to keep Smoke from getting the pitchforks out from all the Bama fans. He's usually firing them up. And then most importantly, I'm here every Tuesday night with the greatest group on the planet, the Avengers, at 8 Central, the Final Whistle, talking Bama football, nothing but Bama. And like Lou said, man, don't go away this offseason. It's interesting, that it was all mystery last year. We're losing Saban, the new coach, all that. But I think this season's offseason is as important as any in Alabama because of what we saw this year. What is DeBoer going to take that next step? Is he – I don't know, man. This is going to be an interesting year in an ever-changing college football landscape. And, I think Bama's facing some challenges we haven't faced in a long time. And that makes it intriguing. So do not go away. But, hey, I'm also not done. On Thursday nights, we've got another sport playing, as we talked about earlier, basketball, going hard in the paint Thursday nights, 7:30 Central with JT, Herb, and myself talking Bama basketball and nothing but Bama basketball. Well, a little bit of SEC too. But it's a basketball show. So come check us out on it. But more importantly, be here with us on Tuesday night. Final Whistle, best show on the damn planet.
Dan?
Yes, you can catch me on X at the Final Whistle Dan, Facebook Dan James IV. You catch me over Chris House in a second and waking him up. And you catch me tonight. Final Whistle. Right here with my Crimson Avengers, the rowdiest cast there is on the tube. And Wednesday nights, the Crimson Dynasty, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 p.m. Central. And, y'all make sure y'all hit that like and subscribe, and let's get to it. We'll see y'all again next week.
Chris?
Yo, you can find me on Facebook, Chris K. James. Whatever, cuz. That's you tonight. I was up. Chris K. James. Senior on Facebook, on X at at Coach Chris James, on Instagram at Final_Whistle_Chris. And every Tuesday night, right here, man, with these crazy jokers.
And listen, find us next Tuesday. Final whistle. And follow the Bama Standard. And this is another episode of the Final Whistle. You know, we like to end on those 2 words to start the new year 2025 off right. Roll daggum tide.
Roll daggum tide, y'all.
Don't give a piss.
Blitz,
About
Bama,
nothing but the tide.
blitz.